Hey everyone, you are listening to the Student Music Network. I'm Lola, your artist and label partnership officer, and I am joined by the wonderful Hannah. Hannah, what do you do?
Hey, so I'm DJ officer for the Student Music Network.
Very cool. And I mean, it is such a pleasure to say that we are joined by the incredible Grace Carter today. Grace, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm got a busy day, but I'm good. I'm happy to be here. I'm just like preparing for tour at the moment, so it's like a lot going on, but no, I'm great. It's nice to be here with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, tour sounds so exciting. I'm going to let Hannah get into tour a bit later, but right now I want to focus on Pick Your Tears Up and Blood War. I mean, thank you for blessing us with new music. It's been a hot sec. I know.
Finally. I
Finally, and
know.
we're both so happy that you are releasing new music, and then obviously more is to come. But I guess I want to know, why did you choose these two songs? Because I'm not going to be acting like you probably haven't been in the studio or making music for the last 2 years. So why these
Yeah.
two songs in particular? Why are these the first ones you want us to be hearing?
Yeah, so obviously kind of didn't have music out since 2020. Been in the studio a lot since, kind of being like, guys, there is music coming, I promise. And kind of a reason why I was away and didn't have music out for a while was because of just stuff that was going on behind the scenes. And Pick Your Tears Up felt like the right release, because a lot of the reason why there wasn't music was because I really felt like I lost myself, to be honest with you. I kind of didn't really know who I was anymore. And yeah, writing that song was kind of, I'm really out of breath. Writing that song was about the moment of me looking at myself in the mirror and realizing that I'd lost myself, and kind of piecing myself back together, and reminding myself that, like, no matter what happens, like, I need to protect myself, and I need to have my own back, and I'll pick myself back up again. I'm strong enough to pick myself back up again. And I think the reason why it had to come first was because I felt like I'd lost myself. When it came to making that song, it's almost 100% made using my voice, and kind of at a time where I felt like I'd lost my voice, to then make this song out of that time, and it felt like this kind of breakthrough moment for me. It just felt like the best reintroduction.
I love that. I love that answer. Thank you for this reintroduction. We have been starving, but now we're fed, so we're all
And I'm
good.
gonna keep feeding, don't worry, we're gonna
Yeah,
keep moving.
good, good. Hannah,
Yeah.
what do you have to ask?
Yeah, so just kind of touching on the release of Pick Your Tears Up, I've seen the music video, which is so beautiful and it says such an important message. I know you had a super special director for that one as well, didn't you, with Iggy London? So can you just share a little bit about the story behind the video and what it means to you?
Yeah, I think when it came to making the video, Iggy is a director that I've known for a few years, known of. We've spoken about working together for a long time, and obviously where there was no music, I couldn't make a video. And so when it came to the Pick Your Tears Up video, I think a lot of the themes that I've explored within the wider thing that will be coming soon is identity, and kind of, I'm a mixed race woman. I grew up in London for part of my life, and I moved to Brighton when I was 9 years old, and kind of having to navigate that, and feeling like I didn't understand myself, or I didn't find my people necessarily straight away. And I think I really wanted to kind of capture in the video that young girl that just doesn't know what they're doing and feels really lost and lonely and kind of confused, but kind of having these people around them, finding her friends that have kind of picked her up. So for me, the song is about myself looking in the mirror, kind of having that conversation. But I think in the video, I wanted to reflect on the fact that kind of that's a feeling that I've experienced for a lot of my life, and a feeling that a lot of people experience. And Iggy and I came together, and just like, we wanted to represent that young woman of color who's also just trying to navigate the world, and kind of stumbles across and finds these people to help her do that. And yeah, so that's kind of the premise of the video.
Yeah, I think it's so important, and I'm sure you're probably such a role model for a lot of young females that kind of want to break through as well. So yeah, that's really amazing.
Oh, well, thank you.
So nice. I've got a bit of questions about the lyrics and the music now. So obviously, I feel like there's a certain sense of maturity in the lyrics, and I love that apart from like the percussion, every other instrument we hear is like made from your voice in Pick Your Tears Up. I think that's just so clever and also so different. Is that because you wanted to kind of reclaim who Grace Carter is, and you wanted it to be your vocals, you on the track, and not
Mhm.
much else? Or is there a different angle to that?
Not at all. Like, that song happened completely by accident. I had gone through a quite a long period of time of writing songs, but like not really kind of writing what I like. For me, songwriting is like my only outlet. So I know when I've written a good song, because I like feel that I've written something that I've needed to write. And I'd kind of been writing lots, but not really kind of hitting the nail on the head with what it was that I wanted to feel or whatever. And I worked with this producer called Tevin for the first time, and we had mutual friends, but like not really any like connection in terms of we'd never worked together. And we sat down and I was talking, actually, the song started from a place of, I think it's quite interesting how songs do this, but it started from a place of me talking about my mum, who was just like going through a breakup basically. And I'm just me wanting to like pick her up. That was literally like where the kind of the initial idea came from. When we spoke about that, kind of started writing this song. And I remember kind of he was giving me the mic. I was listening to loads of like Kanye at the time. I was listening to loads of Labyrinth, like the Euphoria soundtrack I really got into, because I just loved the use of his voice on that, and it just felt really human and raw, and I just loved how that made me feel. And so I was just like, oh, chuck me the mic, and I was just singing random stuff, and he was like sampling things across the piano, and I was like, I've never done that before, but like that sound is so interesting because it's like a unique thing to me, and wasn't really even thinking, just like singing more stuff. And weirdly, I can be quite like insular. I can be quite inside of myself in a studio setting. Like when I'm writing, I'll be like really quiet in the corner until I know that it's like the best thing that I've ever written. And then I'm like, woo, like here it is, guys. And like for the first time, I felt like I was really like taking control and like not being scared of like doing something that was weird. And like even the pre-chorus on Pick Your Tears Up, like it kind of has like a feel that like none of my other songs really have, and I wasn't afraid of that, and I was just like, okay, cool, let's try this thing and like do this and that. And it wasn't really until he sent me it that I was like listening to it and I really like deeped what it was about, and I was like, oh, like this is 100%. And maybe it was the fact that I didn't want him to like know that I was struggling at the time, because I'm also one of those people. But I would listen to it and I was like, this is 100% like about how I feel about myself, and kind of this has all come together in this really like random weird way, but like I needed this in this moment. And so yeah, it was never really thought through. It kind of just like fell out of me, I guess.
Let's tap into that a bit more, because I feel like you're talking a bit about pressure, and obviously you have been named like one of the most striking voices to come out of Britain in a long time, and you had such a big amount of success when you were young with the BBC polls, and obviously that success and the momentum is still very much here. How do you kind of navigate that feeling of like, I belong here in the studio, I can be weird, I can try different things out, like but I've also got like, you know, a record label, I've got a deal, I need to make sure I do all of this and that, like is this kind of new era you kind of reclaiming, coming out of that pressure and just doing what makes Grace happy?
Yeah, I think this like specific thing that like era right now that I'm in is just probably, I mean, it's like definitely for me to reconnect with my fans, because obviously it was been a while since I've released music. But I think above everything else, it's like I started writing songs when I was 13 years old because I needed to write songs about my life and the things I was feeling. And so this whole kind of project and coming kind of into this is me doing that and just like reminding myself of why I make music, because I lost that for a really long time. And I think a lot of artists, like, we kind of have that thing where we're having to like smile and be like, everything is fine, everything is good. But actually, when it comes down to it, we're all low key like, what are we doing with our lives? Like, this is really confusing. Like, I'm doing this 1 minute and this another minute, and it's very intense, and there's a lot of pressure. So sorry, someone's at my door. And so yeah, I mean, I've had to navigate a lot of things. I went from being a major label artist, and then in 2020 separating with my label, being stuck in a deal for a long time, maybe re-signing in the major system, then deciding to go independent. And kind of there's been a lot of changes, but I think the thing that has kind of been there throughout, sorry, now everyone's texting me, thing that has been there throughout is the fact that like now I went from a situation of feeling like I didn't really have much control to being in one where I feel like I have all the control, and that is a pressure in itself, and that is a really tiring pressure. And being independent is not easy, but I think at the end of the day, when you rest your head at night and you've kind of been able to take control of the decisions made, like that's so empowering, especially as a young woman.
Thank you for being so honest about that. I think Hannah's gonna like probably ask us one question about tour, if that's okay.
Yeah.
And then we'll let you live your glamorous Vanity Fair life.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've got long day.
Long day ahead. Anyway, Hannah,
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously you've got a tour coming up very, very soon, which is super exciting. What can we expect from that?
Oh, well, it's been a while since I toured. I feel like I spent my whole life on tour pre-COVID. Like I went on my first tour in 2017 and I went on like 3 a year, 4 a year, 5 a year. And so I think having not done it for 3 years, it's really allowed me to appreciate it and kind of miss it. So what can people expect? Probably some tears, maybe for like a couple of the songs. Hopefully not my tears, maybe theirs. And I don't know. I think I did my first show in 3 years in April, and it was incredible. And it was definitely like the most confident and comfortable I've ever felt on stage, which is so weird because I was literally on stage like every day prior to this. And so I think, I don't know, I hope people leave and feel like they've experienced something. I think a show isn't just something that you watch and then you go home. Like I really want people to leave feeling like they've been through something with me, whether it's good or bad, hopefully good. And that they want more at the end of it, because hopefully this is no stopping now. We're putting out music consistently, and yeah, I can't wait to keep building and keep connecting with the people that listen to my music.
Okay.
Yeah, super exciting. We can't wait to hear it all.
And where are you guys based?
Well, I graduated last year, so I'm a presenter and like producer in London. So
I was going to say you guys should come down to the show if you.
Yeah, I mean, you've got your show Factory 4. It's going to be lit. We've got also London. Like, definitely. Is there any other dates that you're really excited about? Any other venues?
I'm excited about all of them. I feel like Amsterdam. I'm going obviously to Europe as well, doing 3 shows, and Amsterdam is always like a great show.
Anna, let's go to Amsterdam. Let's go to
Amsterdam, guys.
Yeah,
yeah, no, and Brighton, where I grew up, also will be sweet. But I'm excited for all of it. Honestly, just like the thought of doing shows every day for 2 weeks and like being in front of people that listen to my music and appreciate my music is just something that I've really missed, especially in this age of social media that we all exist in now. It's like I'm a very like face-to-face person. I'm not like, I hate social media so much. Again, every artist will tell you that, but I think I'm just excited to be present in a room and actually connect on a human level with people. So yeah.
Just touching on that quickly, is there a specific song which you're really excited to play that kind of gets all the fans going, like a fan favorite or something like that?
I feel like Why Her Not Me is always a classic. Like everyone sings it louder than me, and I'm like, whoa. And also like out of tune, and I'm like, guys, I love this, but also I can't hear where I'm supposed to be singing, but also beautiful. So many. That's something that I'm really like grateful for, is that like when I do shows, like you see numbers online and you see all these things, but when you're in a room with people and they're singing the words back at you and they know every word and you can see how it's affected their lives, like that is the most powerful thing. There's also a new song, which is my next single, that has gone down at my show that I did previously. It went down really, really well. But I'm not allowed, I don't know when I'm allowed to even talk about it, but yeah, so it's like all the songs, people have had enough time to live with them. They had like 2 years of no music, so I'm hoping they ran them up so many times that now they know every word.
Like Wicked Games, and like, how many times did I play you? But yeah, thank you so much for speaking to us today. We'll let you go and enjoy the rest of the day, and hopefully we'll see you at a gig very, very soon. Thank you for blessing our ears, and thank you for continuing to do that.
Thank you so much. It was so nice to meet you both, and have a lovely day.